What's going on, guys? It's your boy Slick B. Arizona Iced Tea, please sponsor me. Peach tea, that's the way to go. But today, not a gameplay video. I know, I'm sure some of you are mad. But I kind of need to address the comment section of this video. I think I wasn't clear enough yesterday in what I was necessarily talking about. So I just kind of want to go over the comments, read some of them off, talk about the good and the bad, and hopefully move forward. Because everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and I do think that I was a little harsh yesterday in this video in terms of what I was talking about. I think there are a lot of people who don't necessarily mean to shit on their teammates or shit on their teammates. They're just doing things that are trying to help their grind, and I understand that. So what I'm going to start to do is make some videos trying to help grinding, right? Not necessarily just yell at Gaijin and try to get them to fix it and make it easier, but also tell you guys how I grinded. Most of the stuff that I get, yes, I do get free stuff from Gaijin, 100%. I'm a content creator. It makes my life a lot easier because I don't have to spend 20 hours grinding. I can just ask for something and, do it. But I do stream pretty much every day, and I have been for quite some time. I play War Thunder almost every day, and I've been doing that for quite some time. So there are things I've grinded out myself. There are ways to make it easier on yourself to do it, and there are a lot of do's and don'ts, in my opinion, and not everything is common knowledge, so if you're trying to just make the best out of it, you're not 100% sure, you know what I'm saying? So let's read some comments. So here we go. We have the top comment here, 3 likes. When you so salty that you lost that you make a video on it. For real though, if they rework the crew lock and repair costs, I think everybody would have more fun. I 100% agree with that. I didn't make this video because I was necessarily salty. You guys on stream do know I was like, yo, I think I'm going to make a video on this because I noticed it, not because I was upset about it. In the grand scheme of things, like some people say, I do get things for free. So in the end of the day, it wouldn't really affect me. I'm just trying to make the game better, and I want everybody to have more fun. 4 minutes in. Wow, Slick, that's some real entitlement there. There's no premiums. You might as well not have joined. Yeah, because everyone has the money to spend on premiums. Always bring 1,000 extra tanks like you do because repair costs aren't a thing when your job pays for them. So this is kind of missing the point. The only reason I brought up premiums in this video is because if somebody was in an L44 Leopard, right, it would be understandable if that's the only tank they have at that tier. But since there weren't any other L44 Leopards, I would assume that people grinded up to the Leopards that they have in game. Which would mean that they would have a lineup, or they should have a lineup from grinding. That's why I mentioned that. Not because you should buy tanks from Gaijin or you shouldn't. It helps you grind, of course, but we have the whole XM1 debacle when that thing first came out, where people were buying their way into top tier, and that's the only reason I mentioned this. I didn't say it because I'm entitled. Not at all. And yes, repair costs are an issue, but even playing a top tier using as much ammo as I do, as long as I am running a premium account, which I bought while it was on sale, right? And I say I bought, I did get the gold from Gaijin, but I used it on a premium account because I do grind. It didn't cost me that much to get a year of premium because I wait for the sale. So that's the best way to get premium, and there is a way to do it for cheap. You spend 20 bucks, 30 bucks, you can get a whole year if you time it right during the year and get it during a sale. So, I should make that more evident in the future. I understand that. So I hope you don't think I'm entitled anymore. I don't think that's the whole reason because, if I was salty and entitled and just to make a video, like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense on my time to do that. I think a large portion of people leaving after one spawn are just fed up. For example, they've played like 5 matches, died instantly every time, and are just sick of it. They don't want to play another match where they die instantly, so they leave. It could just be a heat of a moment. For example, someone gets killed through an entire forest or something, some other weird way, and they just press return to hangar without even thinking about it. I've done this most of the time, and I regret leaving. I understand this completely. I've rage quit a lot. You get hit through ULQ trees, you're like, all right, I'm just done with this. I completely understand that. Just the amount of people that did it in this match, and I've noticed a trend of people doing it, leads me to believe that it's a little more than just this. This is like a certain case situation. If you're playing 5 games and you're constantly dying and stuff, I think it's time to switch up tiers, go play something lower tier, go play something higher tier maybe. go fly planes, maybe go play some boats. I think switching up variety is the spice of life. Us as human beings, when we get to experience other things that aren't necessarily the same, it kind of gets you out of that rut, and then you can go try again later. And I think that's my best advice for people who are having that issue. I find myself oftentimes having to switch different nations and stuff. I'm very stubborn. So I'll play top tier all day. It'll make me extremely upset, kind of like it did today on stream, where it's just like getting shot down in a helicopter, shot down in a helicopter, shot down in a helicopter. But I'll keep trying because I'm stubborn. I understand that that's my own flaw, and I'll continue to do it. But my advice to you guys, if you are getting fed up with something, just scrap it. Come back tomorrow. It'll be better for you. It'll be better for us. But this does have a lot of likes, and I think I understand that. You know, I really do get where you're coming from with this, and I think that definitely happens to a lot of people. So quality of life, variety is the spice of life. So try that out. Usually when I don't, it's because repair costs of my vehicles are starting to outweigh the SL I earned from playing it out. Either that or the enemy team pounded us into oblivion and barely anyone on our team can get a kill. I completely understand this too. When you're at a loss, you know, you're like, I'll take the crew lock. And I get that. We weren't at that stage in the battle, and that's why I brought it up. But this is definitely a thing that can happen, and it can definitely cause people to leave. You know, when the enemy team is at your spawn within a minute, you're like, I'm not even gonna try this. So I completely understand that. And I've seen a big trend. There's a lot of comments. I'm gonna skip a couple. Sorry if I skip your comments and stuff, if you said anything on this video, but I definitely think repair cost is a big issue. I think the price of SL you get from a match and the repair cost of tanks is skewed, because I feel like Gaijin uses repair costs to try to balance vehicles out, which isn't how they should balance it out. It shouldn't be a vehicle's super expensive. I think SP is more of a balancing factor because it's a physical cap. If you don't have SP in the beginning of the game and you have to earn it via getting caps, getting kills, doing well in the match, it physically won't let you spawn that vehicle. It's kind of different when it's, hey, I can spawn all of these things, and then after the battle you're like, wait, what the hell? They took 40k from me dying once in my Abrams and a bunch of shells I shot? That's absolutely ridiculous, and I get that. I think that ammo costs a little too much. I think the SL gain is a little too low, but there are ways to squeeze SL out of War Thunder in different game modes and whatnot, and I'll make some videos on that later on in the week. If you want to see that like tomorrow, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll get that one right down the pipeline. Yeah, let's lose 30k in repair costs. Sounds great. Doesn't matter if the economy is broken. Yes, I get your frustration. I understand. It's kind of like me throwing shit at you if the repair costs. That being said, I did manage with a premium account to make money today. Not a lot, albeit, but I could definitely sustain myself playing top tier. If you die 5 times in a row, I can't tell you that that's gonna, you know, sustain you. And it's not fair to say, oh, well, bad players don't make SL. Like, that's not fair. If you're not the best player, it's understandable. You're just playing War Thunder. You've grinded yourself to this tank. Who's to say that you can't enjoy the game if your hand-to-eye coordination isn't good? You know, no one should tell you that, and the game definitely shouldn't burden you for that. So it's definitely an issue. That's something that Gaijin, I think, has to work on in the future, and the only way we can do that is by being, you know, loyal supporters of the game, but also push towards it. You know, no one's gonna listen if you pop on the forums and you're like, F Gaijin, I want this now, I need this now, you guys are stupid. No one gets anywhere with that. If I was a game company and people were talking to me like that, I would just say, go fuck yourself. And I think that's, you know, 100% what they're doing, or what they have been doing. It has been proven in the past that they will listen if you do enough whining, but I think it's time for us to be adults if we want something changed and start to push for it in a respectful manner. And if anybody wants to say that I'm covering Gaijin's back on that behalf, I think that's not the case. I think I've just been getting older in life, and respect is a big thing. Understand that. My reasons for not responding. Oh, shit. I pressed the wrong thing. Oh, God. Where am I? How did I end up here? Gaijin bot is telling me to complain to Gaijin. I get where you're coming from this, but, you know, if War Thunder is a team game, you don't win the game by yourself. I don't think anybody can win a 1v12 by themselves in this game at all. It's just physically not possible. So as much as you say like the game pushes it towards selfish play, and I do agree, I think it does, I don't think that it's not a team game because of that, if you get what I'm saying. On Russian teams, we serve the Soviet Union and spawn as many times as needed to get victory for our glorious leader Stalin. As funny as this comment is, I do think it's partially true. I don't know what it is, and I don't actually know the statistics behind it, but I do think there's a skewed SP algorithm for Russian vehicles, because it always seems like I can spawn T-Series tank, T-Series tank, T-Series tank. Regardless of how well I do, I always feel like I have a spawn when I'm playing Russia. And it always goes down to just my Tunguska left at the very end. Whereas other nations, if I die right off the bat, they won't even let me spawn. And I don't know if that's the case, but I think some digging and some stats will prove that. So if anybody wants to do that for me, let me know in the comment section down below. If not, I might just start working on that myself, trying to see where the SP goes for certain nations, because I do think it's different for every nation. I don't think it's the same. My problem is SL, so we see a lot of trend on the SL, and I completely understand you guys on this. So I do think I have to make a video. I think I owe you guys a video on the best way to get SL for tankers, and best way to get SL for plane users, and etc. etc. Don't blame the player, blame Gaijin. This is another thing. That's not 100% the case. It's easy to blame the company. It's not easy to look at yourself and say, hey, I was the dickhead that match, I'm the one who left. It's not easy to do that, and I didn't say that to target anybody in that video, and I didn't name names because of that. It's just something that happens in War Thunder, and I think if we all understand, at least in this community, what's going on, it'll slowly start to get better. At least that was my idea for making the video. The glorified TV box players, I think this is a console dig. I'm not too sure, honestly, if console players do that. I've seen plenty of console players do well, and I've seen plenty do bad. So I've also seen plenty PC players do bad and plenty PC players do well. So I don't think it's a thing with console or not. Maybe not. I don't know. You let me know. And here, maybe some map issues. I definitely think it's a map issue too. Personally, I think a lot of the maps have a bad spawn and a good spawn. And if you're on the bad spawn, you're more inclined to just be like, oh, fuck this map. And I've not spawned in games, and that's even worse. And I'm 100% guilty of that. Sometimes I get Maginot, and I'm like, I don't want to play Maginot. Or I'll get Folda, and I'm like, I don't want to play Folda. This is definitely Gaijin's fault, and I 100% think there needs to be some type of better algorithm to make map rotation happen. Many times, more often than not, I'll find myself constantly getting the same maps over and over and over again. It'll be like a selection of 4 maps. I'll get 3 of them in a row, get one of the other 4, the same map again, maybe twice in a row, etc. And it's terrible. It's terrible. There's so many good maps in this game, and the fact that we only get to play like 4 at a time is just bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Sounds like US top tier with XM1 players. This is the whole point I made about the premiums, just to reiterate that. I didn't mean you have to play as a premium player or whatnot. It's just if you buy your way into top tier, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. I think if you want to spend your money and support Gaijin and get a top tier tank, go ahead. I mean, I see it the same as buying anything in any video game. It's not like the XM1 doesn't die the same as every other tank. Or any of the premiums for that matter. I don't think they're any stronger or weaker than any tank in the game. You can definitely kill them if you're a normal, non-pay-to-win player. If you're a pay-to-win player, you don't really win. I don't think pay-to-win is a thing necessarily in this game. Even the helicopter people, right? For a while, you could have bought your way to the AH-1Z and then rained havoc on people. Now that's not the case. So I do think the game is going closer towards balance, but it's almost shifted too far, if you get what I'm saying. So that's kind of the thing. I've never not used all my spawn points. Sometimes I bring scuff lineups, but I always play them out. You know, I think everybody should. I just think you should do that. Even if you don't have the best lineup, I think you should try to play, because it will just make you better as a player anyway. And it won't hurt in the long run if you play more vehicles, you play more adverse vehicles, you play in more up tiers. Where you're the bottom dog. It can only make you a better player. And I know some people might think like, hey, kind of like you're signing the caution there. But seriously, you know, if you learn how to play an M18 at top tier, I'm not saying do that, don't. But if you learn how to do it, you will be a better flanker, you will be a stealthier player, you will learn how to move in and out of the map with a vehicle that's that fast without being spotted as well. Of course, there are always going to be matches where you get picked out, but the more you do something, the more you learn about something, and the more opportunities you have to learn different spots you might get shot from. You'll look in different places, and you'll condition yourself to become a better player. So I do think that playing out up tiers isn't a bad idea. Sometimes you get sick of it. I completely understand. It's not fun playing a Leopard 1 with heat versus a T55AM. I think that that vehicle itself is a product of compression. So BR compression is a real thing. I definitely think it's a real thing. The only issue is I don't know exactly how to fix it, so I'm not even gonna really bring light on that. Honestly, I was sick of Gaijin balancing through repair costs uninstalled 1 month ago. I don't regret it. And I fear this. See, I fear people leaving the game and just not putting up with the bullshit anymore. So I think that's why we kind of have to move towards that. So hopefully this video, it's getting a bit long. I'm already at 20 minutes, so I think I'm going to chop it down a little bit. Hopefully this video sheds some light on the video I made yesterday, and hopefully you guys kind of have more of an understanding of what I'm talking about. I'll be live later on today playing some Sniper Elite 4 with Rotor. Just take a little break from War Thunder. But tomorrow we'll be back at it with War Thunder videos, the same as usual. If you guys like this one, please give it a like. Comment down below, feel free. I want us to learn from each other. I want us to all have opinions and stuff. I like to read comments. I know there's a ton of comments on this video. I didn't get to everyone. Imagine if I did, it would take me hours and hours. But I do try to read almost every comment on my own. I got the YouTube on my phone. I'll read it when I'm going to bed. I'll read comments and read through them. It's just some of these comments kind of painted me in a bad light, and I wanted to address that. Not because I feel like I was completely right. I'm never always right, and I think everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But I think that what people were mad at me for wasn't true. I think that I didn't give the full story, and I need to be better about that in the future. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.